Hello. Let's get this party started. I have so much to talk about. I know it's been a while since many of you have heard from me. Sorry about that. I had things I needed to do. But I am back and ready to pick up where I left off at. Okay? Hey Andrew, I haven't heard from you in a while. How have you been doing? How's life been treating you? Girl, you gotta learn how to type words now, because I'm gonna start thinking you some bot or something, with the emojis and things. I won't have to put restrictive things on there. Don't want that. Don't want that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. That's not going. Let's hope it goes later. Anyway, so let's go and get started. Okay, because we have a lot to go. So again, greetings, my truth seekers. This video is going to be about Trump, how he is misbehaving like his usual craziness. And then we're going to learn about Halle Berry's wrath at Benet. Yeah, right here. We're definitely going to be learning about that right here. And increasingly xenophobic and unpredictable Trump is on the rise. I mean, we really need to start talking about his cognitive issues. On the other hand, Trump supporters seem to be completely unaware of his history of wrongdoing, as well as his deterioration in cognition, apparently, and his mental aptitude. So we're going to try to talk about that, because apparently they don't care if he's old and he's incoherent and he has not brought up any issues or answered any questions, but they're always harpooning about Harris, how she don't answer any questions, which she has done several times, but whatever. Anyway, so I still pray that the truth I have shared with you during this live show will touch your hearts. And additionally, I will go over Harris's interview with Brett. And I will also talk about Liam Payne's death, suicide, whatever that's supposed to be. We're going to try to debunk that. And if everything goes correct, we'll go further in details about that. Still, again, I will be happy to talk about the latest rumors involving Diddy, Beyonce, McGarry, and a whole lot more. I may talk about Beyonce, which is Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's what I call them. I may talk about them. I don't know. Or McGarry, I may talk about them. I don't know. It depends. May not. We'll see where it's going. Oh, thank you, Eva, for sending positive vibes. I want to see and hear some interactions in the comment section. Now, here's the warnings right here.
Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I've deeply researched all of my information.
Alright, here's your...
This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting, or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy.
Okay. Talking about Trump. It seems that Trump has seriously lost it. Let's be realistic here. It seems that Trump is being very abrasive, rude, and as usual, he seems to be... I don't know, he seems to say or do anything and get away with it. This man have said some crazy, off-the-wall, ridiculous, I can't even put into words things, and nothing seemed to have had a negative effect on him. It's like, whatever he says, who gives a damn? His followers don't give a damn. They are not even taking in consideration that this man is deteriorating. He's old. He's showing early signs of dementia. It's like, I can't even fathom what the hell is going on here. I mean, even our people are, first of all, my people are a disgrace. Colored people, Hispanic people, Asian people. No offense to my Caucasians out there, because I'm part Caucasian as well, but let's be realistic here. I don't even know how our people, colored people, Hispanic people, Asian people, whatever. I don't know how you guys can vote for him, considering the rude and cruel, and Jewish people too. I'm talking about the New Age Jews. I don't know how you guys can vote for this man, considering how rude and uncouth, derogatory, and insulting he has been to your nation. He said a lot of mean things. Okay? And he's talking about getting rid of the education system, but you guys don't seem to give a damn. I don't understand that at all. But he says all of these things, and he seemed to get away with it, and no one cares at all. No one cares. Now, you all remember the devastating hurricane that Florida just endured. My prayers are with those families, loved ones, whoever lost anything or suffered for the hurricane. My prayers for strength, recovery, and happiness, and prosperity, and good luck from here and the days coming and pertaining to this hurricane. That's the prayers I'm going to send out to those families and those people who were affected by that horrific hurricane. Now, get back to Trump here, okay? Kamala came out and she said some things, okay? So the hurricane recovery and politics, we're going to talk about that, okay? Vice President Kamala Harris emphasized that it's not the time to play politics. She said, let's put aside politics and then start, talking about, some recovery efforts, okay? However, former President Donald Trump criticized the federal response, as he always does, and they're not doing anything, they don't give a damn, but he didn't do anything either. He didn't say anything. He didn't come up with any plans to help those unfortunate victims who were victims of this hurricane. He didn't say shit. He insulted Biden and Harris like he's been doing for the past 4 years since he lost the election. However, okay, while Trump is being his usual cruel self, Biden and Harris announced that they're using $600 million to rebuild the damages part of the Florida effort. He went to the site. Biden did. He's still the president, so he's still doing his job. He went to the site, said a speech. He said he had these recovery efforts. He called all the necessary charities that we have at our disposal to help these families, give them some shelter, food, whatever they need. What a president do for our democracy, despite politics and politicians and whatever the hell they want to do. Now, this is what Biden and Harris want to do, okay? And most of the Democrats, well, all the Democrats actually, and some of the Republicans. However, there were a few Trumpsters who was like, okay, we need to, hold up, what we're doing. They didn't want to do anything. They don't give a damn about these victims. Who gives a shit? It's not them. This is what the Trumpsters did. And these are facts. You can look this up. But he criticized Biden and Harris, although he, again, did not implement a plan or come up with a plan to help. But he wants to get all the bonuses and ramifications and the perks of being a president. But he only wants to care about himself. He don't care about who votes for him. So if you guys are voting for him because y'all think he cares, he don't give a shit. Okay? He wants to go back to the Jim Crow days. He wants to get rid of the education system. That means your kids are going to be screwed unless they pay for private school. So I don't think y'all know the ramifications and the criticalness of what he's doing. He's getting rid of the middle class, which is predominantly his voters. But, they don't care because they're not voting for that. They're voting for whatever stupid reason. Apparently, they're still stuck on Kamala putting, allegedly, and I thought the same thing. I was caught into that web as well. Allegedly, most of the brothers meaning Negroes, colored, black people, in jail, which was not true. I was told that as well. I had to do research. That's why I put in a video I did about her. Turns out she was against it. She tried to go and root for them to lessen the sentences on a lot of black men sentences who went to jail for minor crimes like marijuana or robbery or, white collar crimes. She went to bat with the government and state to try to lessen the sentences and come up with some plans for education for those who serve long sentences to still get degrees and do better about themselves when they get out. That is what she did. But then you have the Republican Party in reverse saying something the opposite, saying that she didn't do any of that. She put a lot of our men in jail. She don't care about the black men. So you have the black men who probably have criminal records not liking her because that's what they were told. They were told lies about the Republican Party. Now, Republican Party and anyone who is against their so-called minority, their buddies are the ones who did that, not Kamala. So please do your research before you start accusing an innocent woman of something she did not do. Okay? Again, then the Trumpster said that Harris would never interview on 60 Minutes. Well, it seems that Harris did appear on 60 Minutes. And I actually started putting together a slideshow like 4 or 5 days ago. So a lot of this script is kind of old here, so we're backtracking here. Sorry, I've been kind of busy. I told you guys I was going to be busy. Anyway, well, it seemed that she did appear on 60 Minutes. As usual, the Trumpsters had some remarks to say about that. Take a look at what bitter Trump and his Trumpsters had to say.
Vice President Kamala Harris is about to do an interview on Fox News, and Donald Trump is not happy about it, writing this on social media, quote, "I would have preferred seeing a more hard-hitting journalist, but Fox has grown so weak and soft on Democrats, constantly polluting the airwaves with unopposed Kamala representatives, that it all doesn't matter anymore." Well, we can report that VP Harris will be sitting down with Bret Baier, who is the network's chief political anchor, on Wednesday in Battleground, Pennsylvania. Trump complaining that Bret Baier is, quote, "very soft to those on the cocktail circuit left," his words. Trump has also complained about other Harris campaign surrogates going on Fox News, like spokesman Ian Sams, who was on with Neil Cavuto. Trump attacked Cavuto and the network again, saying that Sams virtually owns the network now, and that Trump saying Fox News has totally lost its way. Trump, of course, himself is a guest often on Fox News, calling into Fox and Friends. He was just on with Maria Bartiromo over on Fox Business over the weekend, and he has his own town hall planned for Fox this week, and he'll be apparently on Harris Faulkner's show in the 11 a.m. hour with that town hall with women voters, we're told. So Donald Trump and Kamala Harris both set to have dueling appearances on Fox this week on what is typically Trump's chosen network.
Yep. So he complained about her not going on there, and then he complained after she went on there, because that's what Trump do. He just complains. He don't come up with a plan of how he's going to better, society, do a better job apparently than any president ever, because he's the bomb diggity. He's the president of presidents. And they're saying, I want to take it back to, okay, stop giving him credit for Obama, okay, America. When Trump got into the office, it was, and I put a video of Obama admitting it and everything else, and anyone who have brains would say that, will have noticed this. Trump got into the office after Obama straightened out whatever the Republicans had done. For 8 years he did. Trump came in there, everything was smooth sailing. He played golf, everything was great. He did nothing other than undo a lot of stuff that Obama did. And we are currently, during the presidency of Biden, living in the ramifications of what Trump did. Constant shootings. Inflation going freaking nuts. Housing market going nuts, because he ended the plan that Obama had implemented for first-time housing. Okay? He came up with the plan for first-time housing, for people to get houses, so people was buying houses, job market. Trump went in there and said, anything Obama did, I just want to end it. I don't care if it's good for the society. Who gives a fuck about people? I don't give a damn about people. I'm Trump. I'm the God of our gods. I was sent by Jesus. I'm the chosen one. And that's literally what he said. Okay? So he undid everything Obama did. And then for that to take place and for it to finally be affected to us, we are currently living in the ramifications and the undoing and the drama from Trump. From the sanctions that we have for overseas that started wars. For deals and treaties, he ended it. In terms of the climate change. Since then, we had hurricanes, earthquakes, name it. Tornadoes, yes. We are living in ramifications and the end results of what Trump did. Instead of him admitting what the fuck he did, he take it and use it as a ploy to get back into a White House to do more damage, quote unquote, Project 2025. And apparently people are stupid because they don't know anything about politics. They're giving him credit for Obama's work. Use your brain. Remember, Trump got rid of the gun laws for background checks and things of that nature for gun laws. What happened? Gun shootings like crazy. Trump didn't give a shit about COVID. He thought COVID was bogus. Yeah, I still have doubt about the COVID thing. Still do. However, I mean, what can you do with the information that you have? He didn't give a damn. What happened? Millions of, not that at the time, thousands of people died. Then Biden had to come into, when he got elected, he had to take care of that. Then it was like he gave us money. No, he did not. He did not want to give the Democrats or anyone who's affected by COVID or any relief money. He didn't want to give them shit. They had to practically bribe this man. Okay, how about we put your name on a check? We have you sign it. Just so he would be agreeing to send out checks. Because he didn't want to send out a check. So this little fat fuck, all he did was put his name on a check so he can take credit for something he didn't even want to do in the first place. He's a con artist. And that's record. And apparently, people are stupid and thinking, oh, okay, no, he did not. Biden sent out, 1, 2 checks for people? Did he get any, I don't know, credit for that? No, he did not. So, y'all want to know what he did? What happened at the state capitol? That's what he did. Yeah. What happened to all the people who died from COVID? That's what he did. And now he's going to get rid of the education system and voting rights and the Constitution and any, I don't know, repercussions for cops for when they racially profile and unjusted arrest people or whatever the case may be. He want to give any repercussions for what they have now. So if you do something illegal or not right, unconstitutional, he want to get rid of any of those rights and have cops to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Go back to the days with civil rights, where they ran into people's houses and raped them and cooked their foods, killed their kids, raped their daughters, and threw their daughters in lakes, with alligators and stuff. That's the time that Trump want to go back to. And my people are voting for this freaking monster because they're stupid. And I'm going to put it out there. They're fucking stupid. And I know their ancestors are rolling around in their graves because this is ridiculous. I mean, it gotta hurt for our ancestors to be looking down and seeing dumb, stupid people voting for a man who's talking about turning our democracy and our America, what we mean, and our means to move forward upside down. He want to take it 50, 60 years back. Come on now, use your brains, people. What the hell is wrong with you? And then on top of that, he's showing serious decline in cognitive and dementia symptoms. But they don't even care. The man, 39 minutes, stood on stage playing freaking music because he didn't want to answer no questions, but they want to harpoon Harris for answering questions or for being, I don't know, over-talked and treated like shit because she's a woman. And now on top of that, she's a colored woman. I mean, come on now. What is wrong with you people? And I know I have a lot of Trumpsters following me and things of that nature. I don't know how. I don't know if the guy whoever's hacking me got me on some part of America, like, I don't know, Mountain Time or some shit, where most of them are Trumpsters. I don't know. But your days are definitely numbered. That's all I got to say about that. Now, here is a little bit of, an insert, okay, of the declination of Trump cognitive issues. Please pay attention. Trump is not well. And you guys need to take that into consideration before you vote for him. He is not well. Stop being bigots and racist and stupid and pay attention to this man because he is not well. Y'all talk about Biden, who is older than Trump and have better cognitive and intelligence than Trump. May move a little slow, may even talk a little slow, but he's quite alert. Trump is not that.
Kamala Harris did her interview on Wednesday with Fox News host Bret Baier, and of course on Fox News earlier in the day, they aired that pre-recorded and heavily edited.
Yeah, these videos here, and then we get into his cognitive issues. We're going to also get into that as well. But this is Trump having a field day about that interview, even though he and his cronies trolled Harris and said she would never do an interview, but he refused to do the interview, but he trolled Harris for not doing the interview. I can't with this man.
Donald Trump town hall because he was mad that Fox was going to interview Harris. He got on Truth Social earlier in the week and had a total meltdown about it. So they said, it's okay, big boy, we'll give you your own thing too that day, and it'll air first. And then later in the evening, they aired the Brett Baer interview with Harris, and it was a wild one. Definitely not friendly. Brett Baer was a little bit combative. Harris, of course, had to kind of lose her cool at a few moments when it was called for. And I do think overall she did a good job. I do not think Brett Baer did a great job, but I don't know if it was just as bad as everybody says. He's an a-hole, and so I don't know what you expected. But anyway, after the interview aired, Donald Trump lost his damn mind. And he got on Truth Social and suggested that the interview was somehow so bad that Harris now needs to take a cognitive exam. The convicted felon, who news reports all this week have been questioning his cognitive abilities, thinks that Harris is the one showing signs of decline. Here is the full post he put on Truth Social, and it's a tough one. Great job by Brett Baer in his interview with Lion Kamala Harris. She has a massive and irredeemable case of Trump derangement syndrome. So bad, in fact, that she is barely able to talk about any subject other than the man who had the best economy ever, the strongest border in history, and who just got the unanimous endorsement of the U.S. Border Patrol, me. Their endorsement was a tremendous honor. They said that Comrade Kamala did a terrible job, the absolute worst in memory, and can't be allowed to do it again. She is also the worst vice president in history, but hopefully will soon be gone. Again, congratulations to Brett Baer on a tough but very fair interview. One that clearly showed how totally incompetent Kamala is for the good of our nation. Her inferior cognitive ability must be tested at once.
You got a lot of nerves talking about some cognitive.
Says the man who's totally not in the middle of a nervous breakdown, right? You're insane.
He is so
and the media has caught on to it. And they're not shying away from talking about it anymore, which is why you, in the past few days, have repeatedly said that Harris needs to take a cognitive exam. You are trying to deflect. You are trying to shift the conversation over to her mind, even though you're the one who held a 40-minute dance party because you just didn't feel like talking anymore.
Yep.
Or perhaps you physically couldn't talk anymore. You're the one who, when asked a question in that Bloomberg town hall this week about Google's monopoly, talked about Virginia purging the voting rolls. You had to be pulled back on the subject by the host. He had to say, hey, the question was about Google there, bud. So, you're the one who clearly cannot handle interviews. You're the one.
Facts. Facts.
As we all know, Vice President Kamala Harris released her medical records this past Saturday, and they were very much unremarkable. She has no major health problems. She's got nearsightedness. She's got seasonal allergies. And she's got, urticaria, which is a common, skin condition. Nothing serious. That's it. And I may have pronounced that wrong, but anyway, I'm not so good with medical terms sometimes, but that's the way it is. And after she released these medical records on Saturday, Donald Trump basically spent the rest of the week, Sunday through right now, freaking out about it on Truth Social, trying to tell us that Vice President Harris is somehow suffering from seriously debilitating medical conditions.
What is wrong with
Now,
this
of course, it all
crazy
began
person?
before he even attacked her, very minor, non-threatening medical conditions. It started with him saying, she needs to take a cognitive test. I had to take one and I aced it. I am the greatest, nobody ever tasted, and the doctors were all so impressed. But she should take one. She's got serious mental problems. That's what Donald Trump told us on the weekend. And apparently his anger about her releasing her medical records did not end there. So he continued throughout the week, at one point saying, Harris is dying to see my cholesterol, which is 180. And then he said he already released his medical records, including quite recently, and they were flawless. Except you haven't.
He has not. Why
You
is he
haven't
lying?
released anything. And by the way, I'm going to call you out right now. Your cholesterol is 180. Boom. Your campaign spent $31,000 just at McDonald's in the last 18 months.
Ew.
There is no way your cholesterol is 180.
Mm-mm.
You do not exercise. You believe, you've said this in interviews, that the body is born with a finite amount of energy, and exercising expends that energy and you can never get it back. That's how much you know about the human body, by the way. But there is no way in hell your cholesterol is 180. So I decided to look up, what is a good cholesterol for a man of that age, a man of that weight. And you know what they say is optimal? About 180. So what happened, I'm assuming, is that either Donald Trump or one of his staffers did the same thing I did. Right? Like, okay, if he weighs this much, if he's this old, if he's this tall, what is the optimal cholesterol level? And they found 180, just like I did. So, just say it's 180, dude. Just say 180. That's considered, perfect for you. And that's what happened. Because that is a very specific number that he chose, and I guarantee you it is a very specific number that is not accurate for his McDonald's-built body.
Hell no. He's lying.
But he continued in another post talking about, her seasonal allergies and said, "These are deeply serious conditions that clearly impact her functioning. Maybe that is why she can't answer even the simplest of questions asked by 60 Minutes and others. What is this all about? I don't have these problems." Yeah. Kamala Harris didn't answer any questions from 60 Minutes.
Oh, please. That's all he
because
did
of her seasonal allergies. Her seasonal allergies have messed with her brain, Donald Trump thinks. The man who dozens and dozens and dozens of mental health professionals for the last 8 years have warned us is severely cognitively impaired.
Very.
Thinks that Harris is impaired because she has seasonal allergies. Yeah. This is the kind of guy we want making decisions about healthcare here in the United States, right? A man who thinks that your brain is going to turn to pudding if you have seasonal allergies. But there's a reason Donald Trump has continued this week-long freakout. As I mentioned, he has not released his medical records in spite of the fact that back in August, he said he would gladly release them, right? I got nothing to hide. I'll release all my medical records. And then he never did. So this week, a group of 230 doctors and nurses and other health professionals wrote an open letter calling on Donald Trump to release his medical records. Here's what they put in the letter. On August 20th, Donald Trump said he would, quote, very gladly release his medical records. In the 55 days since, he has yet to do so.
He's not.
With no recent disclosure of health information from Donald Trump, we are left to extrapolate from public appearances. And on that front, Trump is falling concerningly short of any standard of fitness for office and displaying alarming characteristics of declining acuity. The American people deserve to have confidence in their elected officials' mental and physical capacity to do the jobs that they've elected them to do. Trump ought to be going above and beyond to provide transparency on his physical health and mental acuity, given his advancing age. Again, those are healthcare professionals. Those are doctors. Those are nurses. Mm-hmm. Those are people who see these kinds of things every day.
Yep.
And they're like, dude, you got to release this. From what we see, you're in very bad shape. And if you're in bad shape, the public needs to know it. We need to know if you've been diagnosed with something, physical or mental,
insanity,
that could impair your ability to serve as President of the United States. Before we cast our votes, we should be able to know that.
They don't care if he's declining.
But Trump won't do it. Instead, he's like, take my word for it, my cholesterol's 180. Other than that, I'm also in perfect health. But Kamala Harris, on the other hand, though, those seasonal allergies, oh man, yeah.
Everyone has seasonal allergies.
According to Trump, is going to be the undoing of America.
That's not even a good reason. Oh, I can't deal with Trump and his stupidity. So there you have it. I'm sure I can show you ample amount of proof. I can even show you a video of him lying about everything and him saying that he lied, and he said on record years ago, he can say whatever he say or want to say or whatever to Republicans because they're stupid and they'll believe anything, and that's a fact. That's literally what he said about the Republicans. And you can Google that, you can TikTok and YouTube it. That's literally what he said about the Republicans. And I don't mean to be rude, but today Republicans are proving that. Not the past Republicans who I used to be friends with. You know, we may share little, I don't know, minor political views, but I was able to still be friends with these people because they weren't dummies. And they did understand facts. They just had a slightly different form of politics. But it's okay. Just a small lining. I don't know what the hell the Republicans, not the ones who converted or just independent now due to, you know, unfortunate circumstances of what we're going through. I don't know what kind of political whatever view they have right now, because it's embarrassing for you to be backing a man who is an idiot. But whatever. He's making you look bad. I'm just being honest here. You guys can get upset, scratch your ass, and be glad. I don't care. But that is the truth. Okay? You are getting Kiki and Keisha today. Okay? Now, as I was saying about his cognitive and mental declining, let's dive deep into that, because apparently you people who's voting for Trump do not care. So I'm here to open your eyes, because I'm the Truth Show and that's what I do. Here is a little bit talk about his cognitive and mental declining and signs of early dementia. Okay? Hope you take this into stride and you listen.
Donald Trump's campaign is in full-blown panic mode. They are having a
serious.
meltdown because last night, despite their efforts to hide the condition of Donald Trump, it was on full display at a town hall in PA. And if you missed it, this headline in the Washington Post sums it up perfectly. Take a look at this. Trump sways and bops to music for 39 minutes in bizarre town hall episode. It was a very strange scene indeed. He stopped taking questions and requested a song, then forgot he requested a song. Kristi Noem had to try to guide him along as if he was in a nursing home. And this comes right on the heels of Kamala Harris and their campaign questioning Donald Trump's mental acuity. Now, they have been trying to hide him, whether it's backing out of a 60 Minutes interview, the second debate, or not releasing his medical records. CNBC today found out that Donald Trump was canceling an interview they were supposed to have. They are going to desperately try and hide Donald Trump because he is no longer with us. He is sundowning, and he is struggling, and he is about to potentially take on the most important job in the world. Vote.
There you go.
I was struck recently in the last couple of weeks just watching Trump in his normal campaign world, on the stump, in interviews, and he is progressively slowing down. He's progressively not able to really even make his own normal kind of cases that he would make about all sorts of issues. And that was on display tonight. I mean, she was really helped by Trump just not really being able to kind of take it to her on virtually anything. And in a way, her biggest weakness might have been that when you give her something that she's not prepared for, she may or may not be able to address it. But Trump never did that. He only gave her things that it would be very obvious that he would say on the debate stage. And I think that's one of the main reasons that she was able to just kind of, quite impressively actually, take a lot of preparation and just spit it right out on that debate stage, almost exactly probably the way her advisors wanted her to. And Trump just wasn't nimble enough to even respond to that.
He dove into his little pit of grievance
and he's aging, and it shows. It's showing on the debate stage, it's showing on the campaign.
One of the
There you go. And now here's a gentleman who's going to really break it down a little bit more.
Breaking news on Donald Trump. The Boston Globe editorial board has released an opinion piece that Trump's decline is now too dangerous to be ignored. His ability to hold a train of thought is non-existent. He can't speak coherently. He can't demonstrate a knowledge of the English language. You see him try to say Arizonans the other name, as the Asians, Really? I mean, one thing after another is terrible. Not to speak of anything about policy. So why aren't the Republicans, why are not the rest of the press and the media holding Donald Trump to the same standard that they put Joe Biden under the microscope after the debate in June? Why?
Sure did.
Why? This is just so wrong.
Practically
It's
lynched
wrong to
them.
the American people. It's wrong to this country, and it's wrong to them doing their jobs as a true free press, whether it's print or news on TV, the cable networks, live, whichever form. Why are they not holding Trump to the same standard? Because this is just bullshit. It is bullshit. It is not the same standard. If Biden had done any of this, as he did, he was thrown under the bus. Trump has been doing it for months, and the decline is getting worse.
I'm not saying
He's canceling
anything.
events,
Completely
can't
oblivious to
show
it.
up, can't handle anything where they question him, anything where they fact check him. He's now canceled a friendly event at the NRA. So, and the Boston Globe is finally calling it out. The rest of the media needs to do the same thing. This is the October surprise. It's long overdue. Call out the facts. The emperor has no clothes. Donald Trump has no clothes on. Call it out. Love to hear from my Democrats, my maggots, my crazies, and my cuckoos.
And that's the part I am seriously just, I can't even fathom, because the evidence is clearly there. An 11-year-old can see the hypocrisy and the biasness when it comes to Trump and Biden and Harris. Harris just released their medical records, no issue, whatever, just, minor things. A lot of people have, no big deal. Trump has not released a damn thing. He probably more than likely have no intentions on doing it. And he, as usual, can do whatever he wants to do, like he's been born and bred since he came into this world to do. He has not changed. Nothing has changed. Nada. Nothing has changed. He does whatever he wants to do. I swear it's like Trump can say and do anything and his followers won't care. No matter how much evidence that is presented to you, ample amount of evidence, video evidence, vocal evidence, grabbing women genitals and all this other stuff. No one cares. Him have affiliations with Epstein, rape cases and infidelity cases, racist cases, talking about kids with special needs and handicap, making fun of them, having his freaking supporters come to his rallies with guns all in their trunk, ready for a freaking war. But it's like no one freaking cares about what he does, because they're not voting for him for his politics because he has none. They're voting for him because they want to take it back to Jim Crow days. I don't know why my people voting for him. I don't know if they're under some stupid spell or whatever. I don't know what the hell wrong with their asses, because that is a disgrace. I submit realization and nightmares of everything their ancestors had to endure by the people who's trying to send them back to those days. I submit nothing but nightmares to them, so they can see and get a huge reality check on what they're doing. Let's just go ahead and cast that spell right now, because this is ridiculous and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for my people to do that. For any people of any of the minority race. It doesn't even have to be my people, because I'm mixed with Caucasian. Goodness, okay. Of course, Hispanic. And of course, Black, Negro, whatever. A whole bunch of crap. I'm mixed with a whole bunch of crap. I even got a little French in my blood. Don't know where the hell that came from. But whatever. That's not the point. The point matter is, we need to seriously take this seriously. Definitely. He needs to get a full-blown check by someone who's not paid off, who's not a Trumpster, who's not a Democrat, someone who's independent or is not biasness, that literally is out to do their job and give the truth without intimidation and scare tactics that I know Trump more than likely would do, and not to mention his followers, because they threaten me all the time. I put that video about Obama. I had to stop looking in the comments section. They were lynching me, but I was ready for the lynching. But I'm like, no, because they're on the suspect list of what blacklisted my channel. I have 3 suspects: the Carters, the Combs, and the Trumpsters, the MAGAs. Yeah. 3 suspects who may have blacklisted my channel. And 4th is just an unknown person who's seriously got some serious freaking issues. Those who are the suspect. At least that's what they told me. But anyway, that's what we need to take serious here. Now we're going to get on to Kamala's interview. Okay. Now, we need to talk about Kamala's interview, and here are the key takeaways. Now, the interview was quite combative with Harris and the host Brett Barr, assume that's how you pronounce his name, frequently interrupting her and wouldn't let her finish. She asked her a question. This is just an example here, not requoting or paraphrasing anything. Just an example. Harris, what do you think about the border? What is your ideas about the border? Because so-and-so. Okay, well, let me just tell you about the border. We have talked about, well, hold up, this is what I said. And I'm like, hold up. Can she finish what she has to say? You asking her questions, but you're not listening to the answers, which lets me know he was nervous. He wanted to get his questions out there. He wanted to be, I don't know, assertive. So he could look dominating. Because she's a woman. He's a man. I could dominate her. No, not with a woman who literally went to bat for many people against men like you in the courtroom for a number of years. I don't think so. So, Brett Barr, he frequently interrupted her, which was irritating me as a civilized person who likes polite and civil debate. They irritated me to even watch as an independent. He wouldn't even let her finish. He was quite rude and uncouth, okay? And he brought out a freaking clip that wasn't even complete. He tried, that was a terrible interview for him. He did a terrible job, okay? You can edit it to your liking. I'm sure if you were a Trumpster, you can edit it and make it look like he did great. I mean, it's easily edited. I can edit this video and make him look like $1 million, you know, if I wanted to. But it won't be accurate. So Harris, who insisted on finishing her points despite the many freaking interruptions, she did. And she did answer the questions, which she has done several times over and over again of that goddamn border. Okay, now, the discussion, the key issues discussed. The discussion covered several hot topics, hot button issues, including illegal immigration, taxpayer funding, transgender surgeries, and President Biden's mental fitness, because apparently they want to ignore Trump's, which has been obvious throughout this entire campaign. Now, it is reasonable to doubt Trump's standing intellect and cognitive abilities, because it's quite apparent, but they're worrying about Biden, deflecting away from themselves. His sole arguments so far this is Trump's, to get away from his policies. His sole arguments so far have been consistent of complaints, insults, and vague outline of a plan, but not really a plan. That's what Trump's has been. Harris has been quite clear of what her plan has been and keep repeating the same thing over and over again what her plan is, but apparently it's going over people's heads. Now, to focus on immigration, I'm tired of this freaking question. A significant portion of the interview was devoted to illegal immigration because Trump is the one making a big deal about it, and I'm about to tell you why. Harris defended a Biden administration record while Bayer, however you pronounce his name, pressed her on the removal of Trump-era policies. Okay? Now, Republicans in the Senate have, for the third time, prevented Biden and Harris, especially Biden, from reaching a compromise on the immigration issue, which has led to several challenges and unsatisfactory that, let us be honest, they are consistently, this is the Trumpsters, are highlighting because, this is why. Because it's to the racial composition of the crossing population, specifically Hispanics, colors, blacks. That's why they're making a big deal about it. Let's be realistic here. That's why they're making a big deal about the immigration. You got Haitians coming through here. You have the Latinos coming through here and the Mexicans coming through here. All they do is kill each other and shoot each other and bring drugs into our country. That's what they like to say. That's the only reason they're making a big deal about this freaking immigration and border issue. Okay? That's the only fucking reason. For the simple reason that they are, let me finish here. For the simple reason that they are not fusing over the fact that this nation is essentially welcome refugees. They're going over the fact that They're tripping about the border issue because the color of people who's coming across the border, but completely being oblivious and not even talking about or fussing over the welcome refugees from Palestine and Ukraine. They have not mentioned that, they have been welcomed with open arms, even aid, even welfare and housing, no problem. But soon as some Haitians, some blacks, some Hispanics, or Specks, they like to say, come across the border, we need to do something about this border. Okay, we're not going there right now, because then we're going to start talking about Haitians eating dogs and stuff, because that's another thing that's popping up in this election. This is a campaign trail here. The racial biasness is the reason why. Them lynching Harris is sexist and racially motivated. Let's be realistic here. I don't like to bring race into the factor, but when it's floating all over the place, it's time to bring it into the factor. Now, another point, okay? The appeal to GOP voters. Harris made a notable effort to appeal to Republican voters, highlighting her differences with Donald Trump and addressing issues important to women voters. Now, the problem seems to lie, again, with racist and male-dominated politics that we've been living under for a number of years. Hundreds of years. Both of which make it extremely difficult for Kamala, a woman, and a colored woman, okay, to achieve her goals. She has repeatedly denied the continuation of Biden administration and that she has her own views. But not completely being against his administration, but saying she has her own views. She would not continue what Biden has done, but she do not disagree with what he has done. Okay, which I would have said as well. But people keep asking her the same stupid fucking question anyway, and she keep answering the same goddamn way, no matter how they like to reword it. Okay? Well, they're definitely not getting vetted. I'm not sure of the ramifications and the backstory to your comments, kind of open journal, so you have to be more clear about that. Okay? Beeper News. So please do your research. Now listen to this.
The interview heated from the start.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes,
may I finish responding, please?
But this...
You have to let me finish,
You have
please.
the...
After struggling in recent days to show how she would govern differently from President Biden, the vice president trying to put a clear distance between herself and the administration she still serves in, but not pinpointing any major policy shifts.
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas.
Fox's Brett Baer pushing Harris on the administration's record on immigration.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you,
now,
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Why is that relevant?
Let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of 6
system
million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released.
Speaking to an audience traditionally of Trump supporters, Harris blasting the former president as unstable and dangerous,
He is.
calling Trump out for increasingly threatening his political opponents and what he calls the enemy from within.
And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake.
I would have got angry too. And people say he smiled. He didn't smile because, oh my gosh, she getting mad. He smiled like she's very intelligent. She answered quite well. And I guarantee you, and you know I know these things, he will vote for her. He's not going to tell his predecessors and his homeboys, but I guarantee you Brett will vote for Kamala. Guarantee you. A lot of people claiming to vote for Trump is going to vote for Kamala too. But you want to piss off your predecessor. You want to piss off your circle saying that, okay, I think Trump is idiot, but, you know, it's dangerous to go against your own party. Some people, you know, you got to stay a follower. Heaven forbid you become an individual. You said immigrant is not getting vetted and flying them in. They came up with that bill this year. I'm not sure of that bill this year, but yeah, I know during the whole the war thing, they worked out something with Ukraine. You know what? The whole immigration thing, there is literally a middle ground to what's been going on. You know what I'm saying? We could go back and forth with that, Beeper News with that, and you and I more than likely agree with a lot of things they have done that's not fair. Completely agree with that. So, however, what I think you guys need to understand, okay, and I've said this several freaking times, Kamala, no, that bill was not the bill you talking about in terms of flying them in this year. In terms of refugees from Palestine and Ukraine. That bill also included Haitians as well. Well, like you said, it came this year, even though I complained about that last year and the year before. So I don't know, you know, what happened with that. But I'm glad that Haitians are included on the bill because they weren't included on the bill before. You know, just saying. Now, getting back to what I was saying. First of all, what I am upset about is that Kamala has nothing to do with the border, but she's going to answer in behalf of her boss, her partner, Biden. The Senate, okay, the Congress, and Biden are the only people, the party, so to speak, who has the final decision on what happens on the border. Matter of fact, they're the main ones at the table to discuss things of the border. Now, Biden can include his vice president into the discussion. But technically, she's not the one who signs off on any decision about the border. But of course, she's going to come up and speak on behalf of her boss because I guess he's busy or whatever. He don't want to. But that is the freaking issue. Stop putting her in the front line of this fire when she's not in charge of the fucking border. Biden and the Republicans, who are the ones making a huge big deal about it, they the ones who are blocking any change or anything happen with the fucking border. And quite frankly, I'm sick of fucking hearing about the goddamn border. Okay? Immigrants are not increasing the crime in this country. They're not the ones who are getting arrested. They're not the ones who trolling people, hanging them by trees and going through schools and stuff, shooting them. It's Americans that are doing that, not fucking immigrants. America was literally built on immigration. So we need to stop bringing up this goddamn border issue. You're only doing that because now they finally let Haitians in the bill, finally. Okay? Before, like I said earlier in this live chat, they were only bringing Palestinians and Ukrainians. They just this year start bringing Haitians. Just this fucking year. Like I said, were they complaining or did they bring up the fact that it was only Ukrainians and Palestinians coming through? No, they didn't say anything about that. But like I said, when they start bringing Haitians and the colored people, they start letting cross the border, who more than likely can trace their ancestors to here in America. So technically they kind of belong here. But whoever, especially Mexicans, Hispanics, I mean, Los Angeles, do I need to go on? Yeah. So we're not going to go there right now. Okay? So they started complaining when the race of people got darker. But when it was only Caucasian, so to speak, they didn't say anything. And it is a race factor. You get your information correct. Thank you very much. It is a race factor. If it wasn't a race factor, we won't be having this stupid fucking discussion. It is a race factor. If it was only people of Caucasian Hispanic race, they won't give a damn. When they start bringing darker people across that border, it became a problem. And that is a fact. Now, let's move on here. Here's more rudeness and uncouth from Brett, who made himself look like a bully and a bad interviewer. You don't ask questions and don't allow the person you asking a question to answer. That's being a bully. A great interviewer do not do that. That is uncouth and is not polite and not proper decorum. He was being a bully. But she's used to bullies. She handled it with grace.
The Kamala Harris sit-down interview with Fox News Channel and Bret Baier is still going on, but I wanted to point out this moment where Kamala Harris fact-checks Bret Baier on the spot because he tried to use a snippet from a Donald Trump quote, and Kamala Harris comes in, fact-checks it, and puts it into context. Watch.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. We got to think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing. So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
He was asked.
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
There you go, interrupting her again.
show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy.
Yeah, let's hear this again. You guys can hear this.
The President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
And there you go. And you know he has said that. He has said that. And you can, if you need to look at clips of him actually saying that, you can more than likely TikTok it or whatever. Is definitely there. So go ahead and hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Like. All right, moving on to softer issues. Enough about politics. I'm done. It's very whatever. But I do want to play this, though.
I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not.
And answer your question, and I'm going to stop giving you so much attention because obviously you're just going to disagree with anything I say anyway. She was answering his question. It's amazing how you say she was not answering the question and Trump never answered anything. She was. The immigration question, he said, can you give a number? No, I can't give a number. What the hell? I got the figures in my face, you dumb fuck? No. So she answered her, we are doing something about that. Yes, that is a problem. He asked, was it a problem? She said yes. He said, give it a number. Why would you ask that stupid fucking question? Do I look like I have this specific number? And why is that relevant? That's the part that's irritating. You guys can start getting pissed off until black people start crossing that goddamn border. It is a race issue. Okay? She did answer the question. About the Trump thing. The question. He gave untruths. She corrected him. She answered that question. And every time she goes in details about the freaking question, he interrupts her. Like he don't want to hear the answer. He want to make her look like a liar. No, she always answers her every question that's been asked. She answered. Trump never answered anything. He plays music. He throws insults. He never do that. And if Latinos are voting for Trump, you do know he called all of your people. He called all of your people murderers, robbers, and racists. That's what he called your people. But you are voting for him. You do know your people and my people are the reason why he's tripping over the border issue. Just want to point that out. Maybe I should send you videos on what he's doing to your people, because it's going over your head. And send you the arrest record for your people, because that's going over your head as well. So if you're voting for him, do know if you get pulled over because of your race, you cannot pull over your Trump card and say I voted for Trump, because that wouldn't work. And in terms of my channel being dead, you made it here, so apparently it's not dead. But considering how long I've been on this platform, you need to check all of my stats, honey. You will know that my shit is not dead. Thank you very much. Okay, now if you're going to throw insults, we're going to have an issue. Now, you can throw out policies and things that like Beeper News. He's not insulting me. He's just throwing out his policies. He didn't insult me not one time. You want to insult me and you keep it up, Meg the G, I will block your ass. Now, getting back to the point. You getting Kiki today. Keisha would just let you talk.
Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And
but
Donald Trump
but you
is.
talk-
What he has been saying about the enemy within, that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
He was asking.
No, that's not what you just showed in all fairness.
No, we saw that one already.
about it.
And Donald Trump
Actor George
is.
Clooney said
and
within a
if
few
you
minutes of
watch
talking to President
Donald
Biden at a
Trump-
fundraiser that he
See,
thought
look, that's what
was
he
not
doing.
the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate
Donald
stage.
Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out. Even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
That is true. Some of these people who's been working for him called him just a monster, seriously. And that is... She is right about the fact. That is a fact, seriously. So, there it is. Since we have stupid people in the comment section, yeah, I'm calling you stupid because you're not even... We're going to go ahead and just, play videos of what Trump said about the Latinas who are voting for him because... Oh, this is hilarious. This is crazy. Unfreaking believable. I'm going to send you guys some links about, I'm just going to play it because I have it on a different computer, so I'm just going to play it. Because Trump do not care about Latinos, and I think you guys need to understand that. Oop. Oh shoot, 7. 5 to 7, 5 to 7. Let's do the 7 video that I have on here.
Businessmen and women and make up a big.
Do you think a Latino undertaking like Marco Rubio would help with their efforts to appeal to Latino voters?
Where do you come from? The Congo. Where in the Congo? We come from jail. What did you do? We will not tell you. They're coming from the Congo. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from all over the world. Asia. A lot of it coming from Asia. And what's happening to our country is we're just destroying the fabric of life in our country. And we're not going to take it any longer. And you got to get rid of these people. ¿Escuchaste lo que dijo?
That's what he said. And I can go on and on and on about, yeah.
Name one time Trump was racist.
Here we go. Racist.
Okay, I will. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for refusing to rent to black people. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding the black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of 5 black men at Central Park 5, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination. 1991, black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that the black guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. 1993, Trump said Native American casinos shouldn't be allowed because they don't look like Indians to me. 2000, Trump ran a series of attack ads against Native American casinos alleging, with no proof, that they were guilty of crimes. 2004, Trump fired a black contestant from The Apprentice for being overeducated. 2010, Trump argued in favor of segregating Muslims in Lower Manhattan. 2011, birtherism. Trump alleged that Obama was Kenya based on nothing but skin color. He never apologized nor renounced the claim.
Begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. We have no choice.
On January 5th, 2024, Donald Trump called for mass detention camps and rounding up and deportation of millions of Latinos. Congressman Mike Garcia has been a loyal supporter of Donald Trump and voted to throw out the 2020 presidential election. On January 6th, 2021, Garcia is in a tight re-election battle with Democrat George Whitesides.
You cannot lie no more. That's why in this election, 90% of Mexicans are voting for Donald J. Trump because of liars like you, manipulators like you. He called illegals rapists, not Mexicans. But you like to manipulate the story. You like.
And here's what, since people were a little bit confused on what he said, let me see if I can bring this video up for you guys. Just a second here. I want to sign in, you jerks. You want me to sign it again? I was already signed in already. They want me to sign it again. And I was. You know what, we're going to use this because I'm not signing in again. I was already signed in. I don't know how I get signed down in the first place. Okay. Let's see if we can find that
Edward
video.
criticized Donald, as you know, for offending immigrants in your announcement speech. I want to just play again exactly what you said in that speech. Here you are.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Now, you've tried to clarify this statement in recent days, Donald, but I guess the question comes down to this. Do you regret saying that specifically about rapists, or do you stand by it?
No, not at all. Of course, it's not only Mexico. If you let that run a little bit longer, it talks about people coming from all over. They're coming from all over. They'll soon be coming, and probably already have, be coming from all over the world. You're probably going to have people, you're probably going to have terrorists coming from the Middle East. Somebody said, oh, we don't have terrorists. They don't even know, because they don't know who's coming. So we have this open border. It's a sieve. It's like water pouring through. People are coming in by the hundred.
This is a racist ass man. He is racist as fuck. He is just racist to the core, seriously. That's literally what it is. His racially motivated obsession with the damn border is ridiculous.
Now, on immigration, in the poll that what?
I mean, it's crazy. Let's see, Trump insults. Because I'm going to go ahead and say this, okay? Because you guys, I don't know what's going on here. I put Mexicans, I guess. I don't know. I can't even type. Let's see here.
Sherrod Brown voted for the most conservative immigration bill in decades, and Sherrod worked with Republicans to write the law cracking down on the flow of fentanyl. But
this particular channel that we're viewing live on, I don't have the premium on, so unfortunately I look at this commercial.
Moreno opposed the bipartisan border bill so he could play politics. Sherrod Brown fights for Ohio. Bernie Moreno's out for himself.
We've talked a lot about Donald Trump and his just horribly offensive comments about Mexicans and immigrants during that presidential announcement, the campaign announcement last month. He talked about how important it is to curtail immigration from the southern border. He says Mexican immigrants are bringing crime and that they're rapists. And he did say, I love this, and some, I assume, are good people. He's not aware of any good people that come over from Mexico, Lewis, but he at least had the decency to assume that some are probably good people.
Yeah, I guess he still sounds kind of like a white nationalist to me.
Well, it turns out now that after a bunch of corporations have said we're no longer going to do business with Donald Trump, that includes Macy's, that includes NBC Universal and Univision, it includes Mattress Company.
Him practically saying that, I guess that went over people's head because this was 9 years ago. Okay? And you give me a minute, give me 24 hours, I come up with the whole video of him racially profiling Latinos. You do not want to mess with me when it comes to research.
They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime,
maybe I can
they're
play that
rapists,
again.
and some are just...
You wouldn't even know who's criminal.
After that terrible attack in Central Park, you spent a lot of money taking ads.
Here is Trump's racism through the years, since you guys are oblivious to his racism.
Vigilante, wow.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done. I mean, it's incredible when a reporter asks me whether or not I have compassion for the people that they describe. I have absolutely no compassion.
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white in terms of the job market. And I think sometimes a black may think that they don't really have the advantage or this or that, but in actuality, today, currently, it's a great, I've said on one occasion, even about myself, if I was starting off today, I would...
Okay. We're going to move on from that because I'm getting bored with that subject and I have so much stuff to talk about. Okay, we're going to move on here. The point is, Trump is a racist. Is he a flower snake? No. He's not a flower snake. Flower snakes are, and I kind of made a video about those level racist people. Flower snakes are people who pretend to be your friends. They campaign you to watch your kids, but on the side and behind your back, they're with the KKK and they're planning your lynching. Those are flower snakes. No, Trump is the convenient racist, which means he only racist if it's convenient for him or if he gets some kind of monetary gain from it. But in actuality, he cares about himself. Period. That is the core of everything. The video I just played, I didn't even play the full video. He was talking about black people. And he said black people, in terms of well-educated people, don't know the power of what they say. Or whatever the fuck he was saying. I don't know. I don't care what he said. To be perfectly honest. I can send a link to you. You can watch the video yourself. But I want to move on from this. Because I can send you videos all day long about this racist man. And I'm not going to sit here and spend all these freaking minutes arguing with you blind freaking people. Y'all know the man is a convenient racist. Stop being idiots. I'm not gonna sit here and play no videos with y'all because it doesn't matter what I say. Y'all know he's racist. His freaking father was a member of the KKK. He ain't even rent to blacks. I literally just played a whole video of all the racist things he did. It don't matter what I say or what video would I say. It does not matter. You are going to still believe that the sun shine and set on this man's head. It doesn't matter what I say. Okay? It doesn't matter. I already wasted a whole hour and a half, going on an hour and a half, on arguing with blind people. It doesn't matter. We got Latinos voting for him. He clearly just said, I just played a video, and him calling you guys criminals, but you're not trying to debunk and defragmentize the video to fit your own personal beliefs, saying he didn't mean all of us. Okay, that makes sense. What the hell? I mean, no, I'm not going through that. This whole conversation is stupid. Y'all know he racist, man. Is he a full-blown racist? No, he's a convenient racist. And we don't need a convenient racist running our freaking country. Now, let's move on from here. Sitting here arguing with you blind people. No matter what I said about this man, you guys are going to believe what the hell y'all want to believe. And a matter of fact, I already made several videos about Donald Trump and his family. I'll put it in my community chat. You guys can check it out. Made several videos about his family. I said argue with you people. It's a waste of time. Now, moving on to Halle Berry and Eric Benet. Now, this may be old news, but if you are a TikTok user, you may have heard about the hot Eric Benet, who has been openly honest about his life and, you know, his various issues and things of that nature. Now, alas, Halle spoke out regarding his apparent sex addiction. This is Eric Benet's sex addiction. Okay. Now, the host, Dax Shepard, and the Oscar-winning actress, you know, Halle, talked about the addiction. This is recent. This is why this subject got brought up. Because she talked about an addiction on an episode of Armchair Expert, and when asked directly whether she finds addicts attractive, Halle Berry, how you pronounce her name, admitted, well, I had one husband who said he was a sex addict, but I don't fucking believe shit. She said she didn't believe that whole sex addict thing, which is weird. I'm playing your video, and I don't know if I should believe her with this sex addict thing. But anyway, she did elaborate that she had not been attracted to alcoholics despite the fact that her father battled with that disease. And then she kind of got a second opinion about alcoholics and now believe that it could be a disease and not just based on self-control. Not just based on that, which is a fact because it's not necessarily based on that. Now, after dating for 2 years, Halle Berry and Eric Benet tied the knot in 2001. In 2005, they formalized their divorce. She did not specifically mention him in the interview, but rumors circulated that he went into sex addiction clinic in 2002 and may have cheated on Berry as a result. Now, here's the thing about that whole particular issues here. Okay. Now, of course, Eric Benet denied the claims, you know. He told ABC News in 2004, sorry about that, by saying, I am not a sex addict. I am a person who, through a series of emotional events, okay, troubles, challenges, made some really, really stupid, painful mistakes. So that's what he said. However, I want you to listen to, hold on, let me go back, sorry about that. I want you to listen to what she said in an old interview with Oprah.
Something happened, and I found out there was woman after woman after woman after woman after woman. And then I realized he had a sickness.
So this is when you were in London shooting Bond, and he told you that there was woman after woman after woman after woman.
You see that? So she just said that he cheated on her with women after women after women after women, like hundreds. I think she said back in the day maybe hundreds of women or a lot of women. He's gonna say several women. Those are signs of a sex addict. When you can't stop and you just having sex with all these different women, you know, 2 in a day. Those are signs of sex addicts. That is, and that could be a disease. Now, of course, years later, he did retract that statement, as you saw right there. So I'm not a sex, I'm a person, because he didn't want to be labeled as a sex addict. But considering what she just said, those are symptoms of a sex addict. Now that I think about it, you know, just saying. But, you know, that could be my own little diagnosis. I'm not a doctor. But woman after woman after woman after woman, whatever. No, that is a sign of a sex addict. Like, he are not having sex because he's not happy at home or the woman look fine or whatever. He having sex because he can't help himself. There's something wrong with him. Those are signs of a sex addict. But that's just my, you know, my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, remember, this is whole weeks of views here. I have not been available to talk about this, so I'm going back here, and then we may go to the present. Now, RKelly lawyer, this is his lawyer. Oh, sorry about that. I can't even speak. RKelly lawyer reacts after his daughter, Buku Abi. That's not her birth name. She changed it later because she just wanted to change her name. I guess she wanted to be affiliated with him or something. I don't know. I ain't really dig into the backstory on why she changed her name. Now, it seems that RKelly children and ex-wife Andrea Kelly, who starting to become very suspect of, spoken out about their alleged experiences with the singer before and after his imprisonment. In a newly released documentary, his daughter, Buku Abi, real name Joanne. Her real name is Joanne Kelly. Okay, recalls her dad allegedly touching her inappropriately. Okay. Inappropriately as a child. Now, in a documentary that premiered on October 11th that I did not watch, and I'm not going to watch, on TVEI streaming network. As mentioned, it features all of his kids, including his sons Jay and Robert Jr. And yes, they were paid to do this documentary. It was not free. They were paid to come forward. They were paid to do this documentary, but they are not legally ramificated to come out with the truth about being paid to do this documentary. They did not do it for free for the voice of victims. They did it because they were getting paid. Okay? And I'm sure they had their reasons as well, and I'm sure some of the reasons are actually true. Not denying that. Me being a victim of sexual assault, rape, and, child molestation. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm pro advocate for that. I definitely, yes. I have my stories, and I definitely stand by any woman or man or child or boy, whatever, who has been victimized and victims of these horrific events. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone who knows me, okay? Now, Robert Jr. J was biologically born female, but he came out as transgender in 2014 at the age of 14. Andrea is the mother of all 3 of RKelly kids. Okay? So, this woman... Okay, let me see if I can bring that picture up here. Okay, that's Andrea. That's the mother here who was married to him. And that's the girl at a young age, and that's RKelly. And that's her later on in years. So, this woman has had a vengeance. This woman here has had a vengeance on RKelly since the money stopped coming, allegedly. Okay? And keep that in mind as I speak. So when he started going to jail and money stopped coming, that's when she started speaking up, or whatever the case may be. It could be because, he's not in harm's way, or it could be a number of reasons. Who knows? Sure. Trump is not a racist. Yeah. We're not going through that whole rabbit hole again. Okay, so keep that in mind as I speak about the rest of these allegations here. Not saying that they're not true. I'm just, giving a neutral side point of view and not a one-sided point of view like most people would do. Okay? Now, during the first episode of the documentary, Buku Abi opened up about not wanting to believe the sexual abuse occurred. She admitted to first telling her mother, about it in 2009 when she was 10. However, before telling Andrea, Buku said she felt too scared to tell anyone. She also said this: he was my everything for a long time. I didn't even want to believe that it happened. I didn't know that even if he was a bad person, that he would do something to me. And then she goes on to say, now I have to say, I know all about the sexual abuse at an early age, but something isn't ringing correct about this. These allegations are not something to play with. RKelly has been in jail for years now. The allegations of him assaulting minors have been floating around for years. This I want you guys to think about. And she just now saying something. People say, oh, because he's been in jail for years. That whatever part Butcher series on Lifetime. Okay, where were you then? Just want to know. Where were you then when that sex tape about that girl or whatever urinated on? So his reputation was kind of ruined then. Just saying. I mean, I can understand the Diddy situation because he's in jail now. He's out of harm's way, and they monitor his calls and stuff like that. So you gotta write him calling his homeboys. I need you to kill so and so, or da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? That's different. RKelly been in jail for years. His power has been declination and not even in power for a number of years. I'm sorry. Me being a victim, I know bullshit from alleged victims. I know a victim when I see one, and I know people who are pretending to be a victim. Because I've spoken to them, advocated for them. Okay? So I know one when I see one. And something is fishy about this story. So let me just keep going here. Now, I see if she brought up being attacked by the diddler, like I just said, and she bravely comes out now. Okay, that's understandable. But again, RKelly, who has been defenseless for many years. Many fucking years. And make it make sense to me. I feel brave now. You didn't feel brave, 3 years ago? on now. The timing. Okay, we're not talking about Cassie who get married and she's like, okay, my kids settled, I'm happy. I got over all them drugs that he pumped into my body and my brain, going through the withdrawals and stuff. I'm clear now. I'm clear. And after the drugs start draining your system, I spoke to victims, been witness these victims, Britney Spears being one of them. When they start draining your system from being years of being drugged up, memories come back, nightmares start transpiring. And you start remembering stuff, a lot of stuff. And you have to talk about it. Make a book. File a lawsuit. Okay? That's not the point here. That was a Cassie point. That was a Britney Spears point. And other unknown victims I know point. I'm not seeing that here. I'm seeing dollar signs here. But, you know, I could be wrong. Now, meanwhile, okay, Kelly's lawyer. See if I have a picture. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kelly's lawyer, Jennifer, I think her name by Jean, has formally denied what Buku shared in the 2-episode project. I'm going to say this. If she is telling the truth, this is terrible, terrible tragedy. Terrible tragedy. And I pray for her survival and her clear mind and peace. Yes, from this day forward. But if she is lying, okay, to get paid and to get noticed because her mom put her up to it, karma is a bitch, okay? And this could backfire big time. Now, anyway, the second episode, Buku Abi describing the alleged abuse and how she reacted. She cried while explaining. She said, I just remember waking up to him touching me and I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of laid there and I pretended to be asleep. In the end, Joanne claimed that her father could not face charges following the police report she and her mom had made, stating that she had waited too long to speak. Here's what she said. So at that point in my life, I felt like I said something for nothing, she shared. She wasn't finished. She gets deeper, and Abi confessed to her thoughts to her mother after cutting incident at Target. She said, I just got to the point where I didn't care anymore. I didn't care if I lived or died. I remember one day my mom and we went to Target and I had to use the bathroom. We went to the bathroom and she came out and I was washing my hands and she saw my wrists were all cut up. Interesting. I just remember my niece having cut up wrists too. But my sister said that, wow, never mind, whole nother story. And she just immediately dropped everything. Now, Joanne Kelly said Andrea kept inquiring if she was okay while being really worried. She responded by breaking down and admitting she wasn't okay and felt like her life was going to be cut short. And Baku said she told her mother. And she said, I don't think I'm going to make it through to live out the rest of my life. But Baku, okay, Abi said she doesn't hate her father. However, Baku said it's too late for her to shy away and added that she had decided early on. She had decided early on to not speak on her alleged experience out of fear. Additionally, she clarified that speaking out now, she has nothing to do with hating her dad or backing her mom. Okay, that's what she said. Now, here's what I have to say about this unfortunate situation. Something is not stirring right about this situation. Or this story. I would love to speak to her. I would love to speak to her, to console her if she is a victim, but also to get to the bottom of this whole thing and making sure she's not making this up or borrowing stories from real victims. Because that's not right. Me being a gifted person of knowing someone's true character, I definitely want to speak to her. So, yeah. Or someone who shares my beliefs and unbiasedness, I would like for them to speak to her. But considering my crap is being blacklisted probably by Trumpsters, hence the comment section. I don't know why y'all following my channel for. Go follow, Megan haters, people of that nature. I don't know how y'all found my channel anyway. That's so weird. So anyway, like I said, if she is a victim, I pray for her recovery, okay? full-blown recovery of peace and no more nightmares, and she can live the rest of her days in peace. But if she is lying, may karma have its way, because that's not right, to lie on an innocent man. Just so you can get paid, or your mother told you to. It's not right. It's not right. And the truth would definitely come out if there's been some payation for these alleged events. But that's just my interpretation of it. Moving right along here. Okay. We are going to talk about Diddy here. Okay? Sean, remember, I'm backtracking, so you guys more than likely heard about this, so I'm backtracking, okay? Sean Diddy Combs was accused of sexual assault in 6 new lawsuits, including one case involving an alleged teenage victim. Now, this is Monday, at least 6 fresh lawsuits against against Sean Combs for sexually assaulting men, women, and a 16-year-old boy. Just for privacy. Oh, there was some kind of, confusion on why they wouldn't release the names. Due to the Victim Act, most states in our country are refrained from releasing the names of these victims. By law, they are not required to release the names of these victims. So the names of these victims can be refrained from the record by law due to the Sexual Victim Act. I forgot the name of it. The Sexual Victim Act. I'll find I'll take a screenshot of that law, but that is a law. So you say he should know. Legally, he has no right to know. If the victims don't want to release their names due to the Survivors Act, their names can be anonymous and titled Jane Doe or whatever. For their safety, for people attacking them on social media and lynching them. So they are definitely, yes, protected by the Survivor Act for not having their name. That is a law. So he don't need to know, and he has no legal right to know either. So just want to point that out. You can Google that, Bing that, whatever. So yes, just to answer that question. Okay. Now, John Doe and Jane Doe filed the lawsuit anonymously in Southern District of New York Federal Court. The lawsuit include rape, sexual assault, and drugging. Some of the claims attacks occurred during Combs' white parties between 1998 and 2006. That's a long time, y'all. I mean, for real. What's that, like 8 years, something like that? All 6 plaintiffs want compensatory and punitive damages. Houston-based attorney Tony Busby, I have to picture Tony Busby. That's his name, Busby. And co-counsel Andrew Von Arsdale, who have represented at least 120 victims of Combs victims, including kids, predicted a tsunami of litigation against Combs. So they have all these victims coming forward because he's in jail and he's not out, doing what he did to the other lady who came forward. I forgot her name. Calling her and threatening her and stuff like that, and making a retracted statement saying that Diddy is the king of kings and he's the best thing that happened to her. So now that he's monitored and he's on suicide watch and all that stuff, victims have the courage to come forward, and that is a beautiful thing. I hope more victims who are telling the truth and who are victims come forward, because he's been getting away with this for a very long time, and it's kind of sad. It's very sad. Now, in the statement, Combs' attorneys told CNN they trust the facts, their legal defenses, and the court process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually... Now, this is what his lawyers are saying. Okay? They're saying that he has never sexually assaulted anyone or attacked anyone. He's completely innocent. He has never attacked an adult or minor, man or woman. He's innocent. I guess we're just going to forget the Cassie video, but whatever. Now, Combs is in a federal jail waiting trial for his Southern District of New York charge for racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution. Transportation. His plea is not guilty. Unbelievable. Combs was engaged in various civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct and other crimes before Monday. He has denied every single one of them. Now, alleged victims at White House, I said White House, Y'all got me still talking about politics. Alleged incidents at the white parties. In one claim, Combs is alleged to have assaulted a 6-year-old boy, apparently a male, at this party. Okay, so this is a boy. I hope y'all got that. A boy, a 16-year-old boy, a male, at one of his white parties in the Hamptons in 1998. Now, hold up. Is that before or after the Biggie thing? I completely forgot about the Biggie thing. Was that in 2001? When did Biggie die again? Was it 96? 2001? Oh, no, 2001 was Aaliyah, right? I don't remember. Anyway, the claim states that Combs instructed John Doe to drop his pants and expose himself, explaining it was a rite of passage and the route to becoming a star, and also a way to prove himself. Yeah. So Diddy made the transition to stardom for many rappers, whatever, a complete fucking nightmare. As I said in prior live videos and videos before, he made a rule that you have to bend over or open wide to become a star. He made the transition a fucking nightmare. Him and whoever else is a part to this horrific crap. I don't know if Jay is a part of it. I have no idea. I just know whoever is managing the Jay, they turn into horn dogs, but whatever. Now, this accuser said he eventually recognized Combs sexually assaulted him by and through his power and influence over John Doe because he knew John Doe wanted to become a star. So yes, Diddy, he used his power to get what he wanted. Now, second, John Doe filed a lawsuit against Combs alleging he was assaulted while working. Let me just see what else I got here. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. I should have got here. Sorry about that. Now, another alleged John Doe, this is a second John Doe, who filed a lawsuit while working as a security at a white party thrown by Combs in 2006. Doe alleges Combs gave him 2 alcoholic drinks laced with drugs before he was forced inside a van and sexually assaulted by Combs. That was literally what happened. This Doe states in his complaint that he left the party and told his boss what happened. And of course, due to Diddy power at the time, this is why he just now coming out. Because he was defenseless and he was afraid he was going to be unalived because Diddy had unlimited power at that time. Okay. Now, the alleged assault at Macy's. A third lawsuit against Combs, his businesses, and Macy's, alleges that a John Doe was struck and sexually assaulted in 2008 when he ran into Combs and his 2 bodyguards in the stockroom of Chain's flagship in New York shop. Now, the lawsuit claims Combs compelled plaintiff to perform oral sex while he was on his hands and knees. The lawsuit claims Combs shoved plaintiff's head away and shouted, "Shut up or I will kill you," after finishing. Doe claims Macy's security ignored his allegations of the incident. I'm not sure who was his security guard at this time. This is back in 2008, so I'm not sure who his security guard was at the time, so I don't know. Anyway, Doe claims Macy's security ignored his allegations of the incident. Now, Doe alleges that Macy's forced officials to terminate him 3 weeks after the assault because of the multi-million Sean Combs clothing deal and because he told him to. Now, Doe is seeking compensatory and punitive damages for this. Now that he feels safe enough to come forward because Diddy is in jail now. This is a tragedy. This is way too much power. This is way too much power for this man to have. Too much freaking power. Too much power. Seriously, way too much power for this man to have. Just crazy, crazy, crazy power. Here's another one here. Now, 2 allegations of rape. This is a Jane Doe, 19-year-old college student, complained that Combs Hotel invited her and a female friend to a 2004 session and exclusive after party. The complaint states that Combs became more aggressive and ordered Miss Doe's acquaintance to perform oral sex on him or else he would have them both killed. Now, another female plaintiff claims Combs unexpectedly kissed her at a 1995 music video after party, feeling uncomfortable and bewildered. Now, plaintiff requested him to slow down, believing they were there to talk. The claim says whether Combs advanced aggressively. They were rather aggressively, okay? Now, according to the claim, Combs violently punched her, choking her, knocking her out, all this, just going rapid on her. Knocking her head against the wall and caused her to fall to the floor. And then afterwards, raped her and beat her more when she tried to fucking leave. And I'm not done yet. In another alleged assault, Combs and at least 2 other men, John Doe, a complainant, claims he was handed in one alcoholic beverage at Combs' New York home party in 2021, I'm sorry. The complainant says the effects of the drink were instantaneous and overwhelming. Doe says he grew dizzy and tried to leave. He then remembered being in a bedroom despite being dimly aware of his surroundings. He could not move, speak, or fight back. The complaint alleges that the plaintiff was immobilized and locked in his body. He vividly recalls seeing Combs naked over him throughout the assault. The complaint states that at least 3 guys sodomized him. This is sick. That means Diddy has seriously been a freaking monster for so many. He had unlimited power. He was just doing whatever you want to do. You understand? He's been doing cocaine since the 90s, so his head was not there. His head's been fried and burnt out from drugs and alcohol decades ago. Okay? All right? So he was screwed up since his little altar boy days. His mind been gone since then. He went into school with these thoughts of sickness. This is a really core freaking monster. This is not some, build up core monster. This is a core monster, like someone from the core who seriously got some freaking issues. This is what's going on here, for real. This is sick. Very sick. Now, at the time, we have not really heard of Sean Combs' state other than him trying to bargain with the judge to get bail. All we know is his trial date is set to May of next year. We have not heard any information about his bail. And I pray don't give him bail, because as soon as he get out, he's going to start threatening the witnesses and acting like a crazy psychopath. People going to be coming up missing, and witnesses going to be dropping their statements and lawsuits left and right. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? Or he's going to disappear. It's going to say he was found dead in some room or something, but in actuality, he just took on a whole new identity and disappeared. That's what's going to happen. I'm just saying. And if the judge have any brains, despite the many threats he's probably getting, he would not let this man out. I'm just saying. Now, in other news, Liam Payne's death mystery. Apparently, my condolences to the family and friends of Liam Payne. I pray for strength and courage through this horrible ordeal. Okay? Horrible ordeal. Even though it's a mystery, I'm just now learning about it. So we are literally reading about this death fresh right now, because I literally just added this to the slideshow today. Didn't even get a chance to even read it. I just literally scammed through the videos, so we are going to be scamming through the videos together, okay? So Liam Payne died from fracturing his skull and sustaining very serious injuries after a fall from a hotel balcony. In Touch can confirm Buenos Aires Emergency Services Chief Alberto Crescenti revealed the singer's cause of death on Wednesday, October 16, hours after his tragic passing at the age of 31. Okay. Now, to get more information about his death, which I thought I had a script about, but let me go ahead and put a script up, because apparently it's not on my notes here. So I'm just going to read it fresh for you guys, because it's not on my notes here. Yeah, let's see. Let me scroll down here. I literally just added this for real. It's crazy. Now it says Liam Payne, a former singer in a popular British boy band One Direction, died on Wednesday after falling from a third-floor balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires. Now Payne family released a statement on Thursday asking for privacy. We are heartbroken. The family said Liam will forever live in our hearts and we'll remember him for his kind, funny, and brave soul. Here's what we know about the circumstance of his death, which led to an outpouring of grief from fans and ensuing investigation. A 911 call was made moments before his death. The Buenos Aires police released a recording of a 911 call that was placed minutes before Payne's death from the Cashapp Palomero, probably mispronounced that hotel where he was staying. A man who identified himself as the hotel desk manager said on the call that a guest who appeared to have excessively consumed drugs and alcohol was breaking everything in the room. He was breaking them, or was someone attacking him? I don't know. I have to read a little bit more information about this case. Now, the manager requested urgent assistance because the room had a balcony and hotel employees were afraid he could do something that puts his life at risk. Now, a spokesperson for the Buenos Aires police said on Thursday that the guest was Payne, who was 31. Now, the local prosecutor's officers, which is investigating the death, said in a statement that it appeared Payne was alone when he fell. It said investigators found broken objects and furniture in his hotel room, and as well as what happened to be narcotics and alcohol. Now, the results of the toxicology test will most likely not be made public for several weeks. This may be an old report because I think it came out. No, the autopsy came out. That's right. Now, autopsy said Payne died of multiple trauma. An autopsy performed a few hours after Payne's death, forensic experts determined that he died from falling out of a window and that there were no signs of anyone else being involved. It's not clear whether Payne intentionally jumped or accidentally fell from the third floor. How can you accidentally fall from the third, whatever. Now, the autopsy report was submitted to the prosecutor's office, which said and indicated that Payne died of multiple trauma and internal and external bleeding in the skull, chest, and abdomen and limbs. Okay. Now, the prosecutor's office has indicated that because of the position of which the body was discovered and the 25 injuries he sustained, officials presume that Payne did not try to protect himself from the fall and may have been in a state of unconsciousness. Hold on. How did he fall again? How was his body? Okay, died from fracturing skull. How was he found, though? Oh, I'll find that out later. Anyway. I'll find that out later. Now this says no defensive wounds were found on the body. The prosecutor office said that it was investigating the death as a matter of protocol because of the circumstances, but that no defensive injuries was found on Payne's body. Okay, so he fell from this balcony, and there were, whatever. Who investigating this? I need to investigate the investigator and the prosecutors to investigate this. 5 people were interviewed at the prosecutor's office. The authorities said, including 2 women who had been with Payne earlier Wednesday but had left the hotel before his death. They also interviewed with 3 hotel workers. Here are some videos. I got videos for you, which we are both watching fresh right now, like literally right now.
The Liam Payne death at just 31 years old, the One Direction star. This has really shaken up a lot of people around the world. Obviously, his loved ones, family, and friends, but also fans, millions of One Direction fans around the world. We're going to take you through the new details that we have reported on today. But the first thing is that there is now a police official in Argentina who has told the Associated Press that Liam Payne jumped to his death. So they are now saying that it was a suicide. We reported yesterday, obviously.
What was the buildup of this jump? No one's told me
Was it
nothing.
intentional or was it an accident, terrible accident?
Now, they are not saying yet why they're calling it saying that he jumped.
Right. How do they know that?
Right. They have not said whether that's
how do they know that?
witnesses or if there was a note left,
or maybe
in
even
his
surveillance
hotel
video,
or surveillance video. They're not saying that. What we do know is the interactions that he was having with hotel staffers in the moments before his death. What we're going to play for you now is a 911 call. It is in Spanish, but we have it translated. But the 911 call made by a hotel staffer. This was really moments before the fall. this is what they were telling police about what they've been observing with Liam that day on Wednesday in the hotel.
Bueno, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol y bueno, cuando está consciente está rompiendo toda la habitación y bueno, necesitamos que manden a alguien, por favor.
Bajo efectos de alcohol y estupefaciente, ¿no, señor?
Sí, correcto. Y necesitamos que nos envíen a alguien urgente porque...
Okay, I try to read it for you guys. Because I'm sure it's going by too fast, so I try to read it for you, okay?
Staffer, this was really moments before the fall. This is what they were telling police about what they'd been observing with Liam that day on Wednesday in the hotel.
Okay, here we go. Well, we have a guest who is intoxicated with drugs and alcohol. And well, he's conscious. He's breaking everything in the room. We need someone to be sent, please. You said under the influence of alcohol and drugs, sir? And we need someone to be sent urgently because, well, I don't know if the guest's life is at risk. He's in a room that has a balcony. Well, we're a little afraid that he'll do something that puts his life at risk. How long has he been staying there, or is it a permanent accommodation? No, he's only been there for 2 or 3 days.
Chilling to hear this hotel staffer
and
refer to the balcony.
Totally, Charles, and that he was that worried, that he was that concerned that something terrible could happen. It paints a picture of just how hectic.
Who is this caller? This is suspect.
Yeah,
Me.
and what you heard them also referring to him breaking things.
No,
in
this
the
is
room.
suspect to
Clearly,
me.
they were hearing that, and there are photos from inside the room that you can see a TV monitor smashed and other items that were.
Like someone
broken
head
and
going
left.
through it.
Right, I got the feeling, Charles, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I got the feeling the manager didn't really care about the room being, messed up. They were really concerned about.
Right, I think based on what they were hearing and what they'd seen around the hotel, that's what was the reason that they were so concerned. And
Hold up. So this caller, whoever the fuck this caller is, called and said, I feel is in danger and there's a balcony. Who points out a balcony? Why are you concerned about the balcony? And then he conveniently goes over the balcony? Okay, no. This is weird. I'm sorry. Whoever made this 911 call will be the first person I speak to. Like, why did you bring the balcony in this report? Did you have a spat with him? Was he terrible? I don't know. A terrible customer or a terrible visitor or whatever you call them people? Tenant, so to speak, of this hotel. He didn't give you a tip. So you call and say he's breaking stuff and there's a balcony. And he so happened to go over the balcony moments before this call. I'm sorry. This is a little bit too much of a coincidence to me. But that's just my interpretation.
that they were even thinking about the fact that he had the balcony. Why they would make they would actually think that he was going to do something. I don't know.
See, that's what I was thinking. That's too coincidental for me.
Someone in the hotel had with him.
Did he say something to somebody? It's a pretty
But
drastic
the fact
step.
that they were that concerned, and then that is apparently what happened according to police. It is really chilling, and we don't know what led up to that. What we do know is what some witnesses saw with Liam in the hotel lobby before he went up to his room. And it does seem in line with him being upset that he would be breaking things in his room.
Yeah, we had spoke to witnesses who told us he was breaking a laptop in the lobby, that he was being very erratic, and it just kind of painted a picture of kind of a breakdown. And like you guys had mentioned, in this 911 call that we obtained, the person did say that they believed he was under the influence. And now we know that toxicology is pending. A Buenos Aires police official spoke to the AP, kind of like we also mentioned earlier as well, and they say that the toxicology is pending, so we'll be interested to see, what was in that when we get that back.
Right, the autopsy is completed, but it is typical that it takes sometimes several weeks before they get the results of the toxicology to know what, if anything, was in his blood system.
That's obviously incredibly important here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Chip, sorry.
The turn to this anger, whatever it was that was upsetting him yesterday, in the lobby is a stark difference from interactions that he was having with fans while he was down there with his...
I'm sorry, it's 5. I haven't had dinner. And I don't eat lunch. I'm hungry. I'm so sorry, Denise. I'll stop eating chips, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm just hungry.
Girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, for a couple of weeks. And we've seen videos of him. You saw there taking photos with fans. There was one in particular that a fan posted. We want to play this for you. We don't know exactly the date this happened, but sometime recently while he was down there. It's just interesting to hear what this fan was saying to him. And
heartbreaking to hear what the fan said.
Yeah, check this out.
Okay.
Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, thank you.
Aww. Is it me or does he seem fine to me?
In the post photos, you can see the fan got tattoos matching.
Right.
Matching
Think
Liam's.
how big of a fan you have to be of somebody to do that. And Liam, I thought, was so incredibly gracious to give that guy a hug. Just hear how important he is. I mean, the fan says to Liam, he says, "You saved my life."
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. And by the way, a lot of people were wondering if his girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, was with him when all of this was happening, and we've learned that she actually left just days before this horrible tragedy happened. She actually posted a video leaving Argentina, basically saying that she had only expected to be in Argentina for 5 days, but ended up being there for a couple weeks. And she joked about Liam in the video, saying like, "Oh, you got my headrest. I gotta buy a new one for the plane." But yeah, she was not there when all this had transpired, and I'm sure she's feeling heartbroken.
Absolutely heartbroken, right? She was back in Florida.
Yeah.
And there was something that happened yesterday that I think was confusing to a lot of fans. Around the time that we confirmed that that he had died, there were posts going up on his social media, posts that showed him with Kate.
Right.
Obviously, we now know Kate had actually gone home at that point, so people were wondering, like, how were we seeing these images with the two of them together in Argentina?
Right.
Yet, he's dead. It seems that those were scheduled posts.
Right. You can set it up beforehand. And
This is a homicide.
But it certainly was
I'm telling
confusing and upsetting, I think, to fans also to see that.
Not suicide,
The
it's a homicide.
fan reaction, by the way, has been intense there at the hotel in Buenos Aires. There were vigils going on all night as fans gathered there, trying to help each other through their
just
grief.
tragic. He's a handsome man, too.
31 had died at this hotel.
So tragic.
Messages are coming in from all over the world and from a lot of very people you might not have expected. Paris Hilton posted about it. Ty Dolla $ign, Zed, who had worked with him. Rita Ora, who did a song For You with him, was performing in Japan. She tried to actually sing that
Rita
song.
Ora, what's she been up
realized
to?
early on she couldn't get through it.
Eric, we have this this clip of Rita when she's on stage, as you said, trying to do the song that she'd done with Liam Payne.
If she gonna start crying, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm gonna get emotional myself.
Replacement for him as a brother in Niall's life, and also Harry Styles' mother just posted a broken heart emoji and just said "just a boy." So people all around the world are just in shock and devastated.
Yeah,
Very
of course,
devastating.
everyone knows One Direction formed on X Factor with Simon Cowell.
2010.
And it's interesting, Simon, yesterday when the news broke, was in the middle of a taping for Britain's Got Talent, and was clearly distraught by this, and actually they canceled the taping for Britain's Got Talent so that everyone could have some time to react to this news and to begin mourning. So we will see when the band members actually release their statement, when they start to, obviously everyone's still just dealing with the fact that this happened.
Yeah. Okay, now, here is more information about his jump.
We have more leaked information on what actually happened with Liam Payne in that hotel room, and we have leaked WhatsApp messages from the hotel employees about what happened. Let's go ahead and get into it. And guys, if you want more on this, make sure and click the plus sign. I'm going to keep you up to date and tell me what you think about all this in the comments. So from the employees, they had to carry him back to the room, and apparently he was going crazy in there, and he threw himself down on the floor. Now, they said he's really wasted, but a theory has come out about what actually happened to him. So apparently he landed right next to the swimming pool, and from what we're hearing from leaked WhatsApp messages, this isn't confirmed, but these are just leaks that are going around, the hotel staff said he wanted to go to the swimming pool. Problem is, the swimming pool was closed, and it upset him. Therefore, he jumped off his balcony trying to get into the swimming pool. And this is actually pretty common in Argentina and in different countries. It's called balconing. And I guess, like, they did a study, and 95% of people who do this, who do these jumps, there ends up being substances or alcohol involved. Now, I'm not saying 100% this is what happened, because this isn't confirmed. It is an interesting theory as to what happened, because we're still all shaking our heads saying, some of this just doesn't add up and doesn't
I know,
make sense.
right? That's what I'm
I don't know.
thinking.
What do you guys think about this? Tell me your
agree.
thoughts. Sound off in the comments. Click the plus sign. I've got more.
Like, some just not adding nothing about this story. I think this is about his autopsy.
The results of Liam Payne's autopsy report say he fell from the balcony, not that he jumped, as was previously reported. Per his autopsy, 31-year-old Liam Payne died of polytrauma and internal and external bleeding. The prosecutor's office called his death doubtful/undetermined, meaning there was no...
Okay, you guys already heard me say this already.
Buenos Aires said there was no conclusive information about the cause of death. In a statement, the Security Ministry of Buenos Aires said Liam had jumped from the balcony of his room. However, now with the autopsy results, it has been determined that he fell, not jumped. According to the autopsy report results, forensic experts found a total of 25 injuries compatible with those produced by a fall from height. The singer's brain and skull injuries in particular were sufficiently suitable to cause death. The internal and external hemorrhages in his skull, chest, abdomen, and limbs contributed to the mechanism of death. It also appears that Liam Payne was alone when he fell. His hands showed no defensive wounds, meaning another party did not intervene. For the prosecutor's office, everything indicates that the musician was alone when the fall occurred, and that he was going through some kind of breakdown as a result of substance abuse. The prosecutor's office also said, quote, the position of his body did not adopt a reflexive posture to protect himself, and that he could have fallen in a state of semi or total unconsciousness. Results from the toxicology screening are still pending, though they are waiting to determine exactly what substances Liam had consumed prior to his death. But by all accounts, it seems like he was under the influence of some sort of substance, and that led him to act erratically and eventually
Hope they don't
fall
pad
to
his
death.
toxicology
He was not
report.
pushed, no one else was there, and he was likely unconscious by the time he was falling. Rest in peace, Liam.
There you have it. My conclusion is something is fishy. Now, the young lady explaining that he tried to jump, well, that's been clear thanks to this third video, how conveniently, that he did not jump, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. He fell from it. So it wasn't an attempt to pull dive or whatever the case may be. But it just seems fishy. It just, him breaking things as if he's having a fight or he's pissed off because they're locking him in the room. Some is just not adding right. This is starting to look more of a homicide, premeditated. And I definitely would love to speak to that person who made that 911 call. Why would he say there's a balcony near? And he's breaking stuff. And he conveniently fall from the balcony. I mean, it's just weird. Just weird. I don't know. We got to wait for the toxicology report if it's not falsified. You know, we got to pray that's not falsified. But some is not adding right. Let me know your interpretations in it. This seems like a homicide to me, but I could be wrong. All right, now, this last part of my live video, considering I spent the hour and some change arguing with Trumpsters, which was a pointless argument because they're going to believe what they want to believe. We are going to talk about Shakespeare, and I'm sure Trumpsters will come up from their shadow of whatever, and they will try to debunk this as well, despite the evidence. Because evidence don't mean anything. They still say the sun shining on Trump. He is the best president ever. Blah, 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 blah. And he's not, but, you know, whatever. Okay, now, the true race of Shakespeare. Did you all know that Shakespeare was actually a colored man? He was actually, well, listen to this. It says here, the writer was a Negro lady, a black lady. Take a look at these videos, which I knew from back in the day, but here we go.
The real William Shakespeare was a black man.
And this is historical documents. You can find this in Library of Congress and I believe Britannica. and historical records that he was indeed a black man. Just like, what's his name? King James is a black man too. You can find that on my TikTok or one of my Instagram pages. I don't remember which one it is. Anyway, yeah, King James was a black man too until they whitewashed him.
Proof of William Shakespeare being a black man. Aubrey reported that Shakespeare was a handsome, well-shaped man. Only 2 extant portraits can be regarded as fully authenticated, the bust in Stratford Church and the frontispiece to the folio of 1623. The bust, attributed to Gerard Johnson, is a rudely carved specimen of mortuary sculpture. It was originally colored, but in 1793, Malone caused it to be whitewashed. In 1881, the whitewash was removed, and the colors, as far as traceable, restored. Shakespeare's bust was originally colored, but in 1793, Edward Malone, who had edited an edition of Shakespeare's works, persuaded the vicar to have it painted white. In 1810, some indignant person wrote in the visitor's book, "As much as possible of the paint was removed in 1861, and the bust was repainted according to such traces of the original colors that remained."
This is during the 1700s when they started whitewashing everything.
Here's a painting depicting Shakespeare as brown in complexion.
There you go. That's the original paint right there. Yep. So in the 1700s, after the Revolutionary War, they started going around whitewashing everything. Christianity was definitely on a rise at that time. Everything was completely whitewashed. Jesus is white. He was Caucasian or whatever heck race he was. Everything was white. Egyptians, everything was white. There was no history or heritage or rooted story in where black people came from. Apparently, we was born to be slaves. Our history began with slavery. Because, whatever. Anyway, but we already know that's baloney now. Okay? But the stories that you hear about Shakespeare and things of that nature, I want you to listen to this.
The plays of William Shakespeare were actually written by a black Jewish woman called Amelia Bassanio.
Yeah, Jews were...
This is a very revolutionary theory, but it's beginning to make sense. She was, after all, England's first published woman poet. She wrote a book in 1611 called Salve Deus, and she was also mistress to the man in charge of the English theatre. What's more, we've found her signatures on 7 of the plays.
And these are facts. These are facts. So she wrote those Shakespeare plays. Those events were more than likely historical events that happened with the royalty, more than likely in England. Because remember, before I did a whole video about this, I tried to remember to leave the link, about when the whitewashing began. Around the 1700s. Before the 1700s, predominantly of the rulers, king, queens, whatever, were black people. Mixed people. Okay? After the Revolutionary War, they went in and whitewashed everything. They turned the kings and queens black, put goofy wigs on it, painted their faces white. X-ray vision and deep analyzation of these paintings revealed the lies behind those paintings, that they painted them white, make their nose slimmer to look white. Yeah. That is a fact. This is not a racist video. This is a fact video. This is a truth show. That's what they did. Before the 1700s, England, predominantly the world, was ruled by black people. She wrote about events around that time of black people. But they love her stories. So they whitewashed it and predominantly, made plays with mostly men, but you get the drift. Because women wasn't allowed to be in plays at the time, so they had to cast them all men. Long story, whatever. Point matter is, these are historical records. If you don't believe me, look them up yourself. Okay? I got several videos on the Truth Show. The link is below. Go ahead and follow that. I talked about in-depthly all of the whitewashing. You want to know why my shit is blacklisted? That's why. Now, I even did a whole plethora of videos of Donald Trump, too. I'm not gonna argue with you about Donald Trump, man. I know all about that man. Seriously. Stuff I know about him will make you cringe. But anyways, And to give a recap here, and I'm in this 2-hour video because an hour and a half was wasted. We talked about Trump, his declination of his cognitivity and mental capacity, which is declining. You guys have to know that. We talked about the unfairness and biasness and sexist that have been against Kamala. We talked about the unfair and hypocriticalness they are doing in terms of Trump. He's allowed to get away with stuff and say stuff, but Kamala's held against whatever she does. Biden apparently is shifted in the back shadow, and Kamala's taking all the hits now, which I don't like, but whatever. She is running to be next president, so I'm just going to let this slide for now. Okay? We also talked about RKelly daughter allegedly saying that she was abused. I'm a little confused, and something about that story is just not ringing right for me, but I do pray for her wellness and her peace if it is true, but something about that story gutly is not feeling right to me. And we talked about Diddy, his insaneness, and his... I'm so glad he's behind bars. And we also talked about... what did we talk about after that? Oh, Liam Payne and his fishy story and what happened in that hotel room and that alleged caller, you know, saying there's a balcony near. Why he point out that? That's suspicious as fuck to me. We talked about that. And we talking about the original author of Shakespeare's. They're going to deeply buried because they don't want that to come out because Shakespeare is a prominent play that's been replayed millions and millions and millions and millions of times, and actually the center of indoctrination and actually, okay, speech for the British and the English. They thrive on Shakespeare plays. You go to college, you have to learn this stuff in your freaking classes. It's ridiculous. Not knowing the root of it. So I guarantee you the story and the truth about this heritage is not going to go viral because it will... Well, you already get the drift already. So I'm going to end it here. I will be doing tarot readings later on my tarot channel. So give me about a good... I have to eat something. It's like 6. Give me into about 7 and I will do some tarot readings. So meet me at the Goddess channel, Goddess Shiva. The link should be below. And I am giving one free reading to those who want it. So hope to see you there. And yes, you Trumpsters are welcome. Okay? See you guys later. Bye.